told my parents to buy near the peak, and now I feel terrible. Oof, gotcha. The age-old trap of giving financial advice when you shouldn't be. I love it. Alrighty. Dear Fi Guys, howdy. Howdy. I need to get this off my chest right now, because I feel like the biggest clown on Wall Street. For the past 2 years, I've been practically begging my parents, who, like many Asian parents, are ultra-conservative with their money, to invest in US stocks. I've given them the whole spiel about how inflation is eating away their savings, how the market has historically trended up over time, how they're missing out on potential long-term gains by keeping everything in cash. I mean, I really laid it on thick. Well, 2 months ago, they finally caved. Gotcha. You know, when convincing someone, you never want them to cave. You want them to, you want them to, this is a great idea, right? Everybody, it should be a happy moment. It shouldn't be like, I defeated you. You can't, like, that's, just a heads up. Anyway, a little 2 cents in there. They put in around $200,000 into SPY, SPY, and another $100K into NVIDIA. A move I was genuinely proud of at the time. And what happens? The market takes a nosedive. Not just a dip, not just a little correction. I mean an actual free fall. Now they're sitting at a loss, staring at me like I personally went and torched their money. Nice. Yeah. And knowing Asian parents, oof.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. You're done. You're actually cooked. It's over for you. It's not over for you. Done. Yeah. You've been excommunicated from the family, I'm sure. And honestly, I don't even blame them for freaking the heck out. These aren't wide-eyed YOLO investors trying to ride the chaos like a roller coaster. They're real people with real money watching the market bleed out while I sit there telling them, just hold on. It'll bounce back. It always does. But every red day, that's another gut punch. Another reason for them to stare at me like I just walked into them, like I just walked them into a burning building. My God. Okay. And the part that really twists the knife, I should have seen this coming. I should have told them to slow walk their way in, dollar cost averaging instead of diving head first like they were invincible. I should have warned them that the market is absolutely unhinged when elections loom, that tariff wars are on the horizon, and the political circus acts turn investments into high-stakes gambling. I should have prepared them for the pure emotional warfare, and that is very true. It is truly emotional warfare. The pure emotional warfare that comes with watching your money evaporate in quite literally real time. Instead, I gave them confidence. The kind that makes them plunge right into the pool right before it turns into a frozen lake. Nice. I don't even know why I'm writing this. To vent, to confess, to scream into the void, hoping that the algorithm spits out a time machine. I wish. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe if I put it here, it won't feel so heavy. Anyway, I hope you guys are holding up better than my portfolio. And if not, misery loves company. From preached to invest, they gave it their best. Now they just stress while I second guess. A nice rhyme. Wow, that is a heck of a story. No question there. No question needed. What advice?
I don't even know where to go from there.
I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the biggest advice I have is never give investment advice to people if you don't know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're right, then you get none of the benefit. They're not going to thank you for that. But if you're wrong, they're going to blame you every day for the rest of your life.
They're going to burn you at the stake. Yeah.
They are going to burn you.
They're going to burn you at the stake. Yeah. No, especially someone who's lived a difficult life, right? Especially someone who's translated their energy, their time into money, right? We know that money is energy, right? It's our life's energy, right? And to see that evaporated, it'd be basically like you had $100,000 invested, dropped 20%, $80,000. How long did it take you to make $20,000, right? Was it a couple months? Emotionally, physically, it's almost like you worked a couple months for free. because that money is gone if you sold. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I'm reading here is that he basically strong armed his parents into doing this, and yeah, you should never strong arm. Like, even for me as a financial advisor, I'm a professional at this. Like, people pay me to do this stuff. Yeah. My parents still don't invest money. Like, they still don't. A lot of my family doesn't. The way that I always looked at it is that I'm going to live the best life that I can, be here doing what I'm doing, and if people are ready and willing, then I'm here with open hands. Like the Buddha kind of talks about, like sitting there with open palms, not pushing your religion, your process, your anything on somebody. Just live the life to the best of your ability. And if people are ready to seek out that information, then you are there to provide it. But the more you push, the more people revolt. And it sounds like you pushed your parents over and over and over again until they finally gave in and caved. You put it in there. They finally caved. And when they did cave, they listened to you. And you told them to put all of their money, or I don't know how much, but $300,000 into the S&P 500 and NVIDIA. 1/3 of your parents' money that they are willing to put up, you put into one single stock. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, if we're trying to talk about, hey, let's dollar cost average them in, that's probably a good idea. Historically, dollar cost averaging is not the best thing to do. Historically, the best thing to do is just put all the money in. But you have to also understand that we're not just looking at the physics of finance. We're also looking at the feelings of finance. And you have to balance these two things. Just from a portfolio allocation standpoint, the S&P 500, about 20 some odd percent of it is made up by 6 companies. And one of those 6 companies is NVIDIA. So basically, you took your parents' money and you put, I don't know, more than 1/3 of it into one company. One company that makes microchips during a tariff war, when China may invade Taiwan, when all of these things are happening, you went ahead and put that in there. There was a lot better options that you could have done. If your parents were so worried about that, you could have even talked to them about using bonds, government bonds, a money market account, something like that. But instead you said, let's go crazy aggressive. Let's go 100% equities, and not just 100% equities. 1/3 of that 100% equities into one equity. That's a lot for anybody.
Yeah, it is. I think I don't know how old he is. I don't know how young he is, right? But it seems like there's a huge amount of ego and arrogance involved, and that's something you never want in the stock market. You never want to have a big ego. You never want to have a big arrogance in the stock market, right? Really anywhere. But I think you had good intentions, but very poor direction. Rather than pushing them to invest all their money in SPY and NVIDIA, why not push them to a financial advisor who's spent their life and is licensed and does this for a living? Someone who knows how to manage risk and properly build them a plan for their life rather than let's go gamble. Like, it's not good. It's like the difference between a salad and cocaine. One's healthy, one's not. Right? I mean, good intention, but horrible execution. And that's pretty much all I have here. I hope the market bounces back, and I hope that they can forgive you.
Here's the hard thing: is that the market will bounce back. Yeah. And if it doesn't bounce back, we have bigger issues than your parents' $300,000. The bigger issue is that you're trying to convince your parents that you're right, that you know what's best for them. Mm-hmm. As a financial advisor, like as someone who does this for a living, I still don't even do this for a living. I don't tell people what they have to do. The goal in life is to guide people. You guide, but they decide. It's their life. It's their life energy. They're the ones that did all this stuff. And the most important part about being a good long-term investor, a good investor in general, is understanding and perspective. Because the worst thing you can do is put the money in, it gets lit up 10, 20, 30%, whatever it is, and then you sell because now you've locked in those losses. But if your parents went into it with an open mind, understanding what was going on, the ins, the outs, the intricacies, saying, hey, I could put this money in today, this 300,000, and tomorrow if it dropped by 50%, I wouldn't care. I don't need that money. I don't know how old your parents are. I don't know how close to retirement they are. But if $300,000 was all of their money for retirement and you put into the stock market, just like, don't worry about it, guys. You need it in 2 years. So when you retire, this is the time to do that. You put your parents into a terrible situation. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you're younger. Maybe you're 18, 19, whatever. Your parents are in their 40s or 50s, and they have time to ride this out. There's really nothing I can say at this point that's going to help this situation. Hopefully your parents can understand why you did this. You are absolutely right. It will come back, but when will it come back? I don't know. Nobody knows. Anyone that tells you that they do know when the stock market is going to come back is lying to you. But what you did is you told your parents that you knew it was going to happen, that you knew that if they put the money in, that it would work out for them on a certain time scale. Again, when you give someone investment advice, if it goes well and they gain, you get no credit. If it goes poorly, you get all the blame. You never want to strong arm people into doing things that's good for them. You want them to do it for themselves because they believe that it's right. It'd be like me telling somebody like 100%. If I'm like, Dominic, you need to go to jujitsu. Like jujitsu will change your life. It's the best thing ever. You're like, I don't know. And I'm like, bro, doesn't matter. I sign you up and I drag you in and you get your arm broken.
Yeah.
Like you're going to hate
pissed. I'm going to be freaking pissed.
But if you see the benefit that it brings to my life, like you're like, Chris, I love that you're going to jiu-jitsu. I see how much it's changed you. I want to try it. And I tell you like, okay, just so you know, these are the risks of doing it. You're like, I still want to do it. Then I've just sat there with open palms and you came to me to make the change. So if you get hurt, if anything happens wrong, it's your decision. But instead you made it. You took their decision and you made it for them by strong arming them into making a decision that probably was not right for them, especially at the time. Somebody first time to the stock market, first time ever investing money in their life, I would not say to put all in the S&P 500 and one stock.
And it seems like, I know I talked a little bit about arrogance and ego before, but at the same time, it almost feels like they want their parents' approval, right? Like they want to help them. And you see your parents as helpless, right? If that is the case and you do truly feel like they need help, get them the proper help. If I broke my arm and Chris got me a Band-Aid, I'm going to be pissed. I would say, take me to a hospital. I need a doctor, right? If I have $300K and I'm older and I need help with my money, don't recommend me a stock. In fact, don't recommend me anything. But if you were, recommend a trained professional, right? A trained professional, right? Because make no difference picking one stock and putting a third of your money into it. Is it gambling? Yeah, it's pretty much
gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling. It's a little bit more complex, maybe, but it's gambling, right? And some things, don't get me wrong, I like gambling, right? But I don't gamble my parents' future on it. Okay, so just try to make a little bit better decisions going forward, and keep listening to the Fi Guys.
I think the biggest thing you could do is probably question yourself, because you're absolutely right. Maybe the allocation you chose would have been perfect for you at whatever age you are, but not for your parents. Not at this time. So we wish you the best of luck, man. Big hugs from Arizona. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you, everything will be okay. It may not be okay in the way that you want it to be okay, but it will be okay.
100%.
Your parents are probably really mad at you, but they still love you, even if they hate you right now.
Yes.
They will still always be your parents.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.